Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a psychological phenomenon that is, well, it's incredibly common, it's deeply frustrating, and honestly, it's universally relatable. I mean, if you've ever felt like your own mind is actively trying to sabotage your happiest moments, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. We're going to break down exactly what's happening in your head when things are going perfectly, and yet you still feel this creeping sense of dread. By the end of this, you're going to have a completely new understanding of your own mental wiring. Why does your mind immediately jump to what if everything goes wrong the moment something goes right? Take a second and just let that question really sink in. You know, you finally get that promotion, you have an absolutely wonderful first date, or maybe you just have a quiet, peaceful morning, and suddenly, literally out of nowhere, your brain starts generating these intense disaster scenarios. It's exhausting, isn't it? Well, let's figure out exactly why this happens.
Section 1, the happiness paradox, when right feels wrong.
Okay, let's dive into this. We really have to acknowledge this frustrating reality first. You work so hard to achieve a goal, or just find a tiny moment of peace, right? But the absolute second you cross that finish line, your mind completely refuses to let you celebrate. Instead of joy, you just feel anxiety. Think about the stark contrast between your environment and your emotions here. In your external reality, something genuinely good just happened. The environment is safe, the news is totally positive. But internally, a huge emotional disconnect happens. Your internal world simply doesn't match the external reality. While the outside world is handing you a clear victory, your internal world is aggressively pivoting to expect the absolute worst-case scenario. It kind of feels like a glitch in the system, doesn't it?
And that immediate jump to the worst-case scenario, it's so incredibly jarring. But here's something absolutely vital you need to understand. This sudden pivot to negativity is not a personal flaw. Seriously, you aren't broken and you aren't inherently pessimistic just for the fun of it. What you're experiencing is actually a deeply ingrained, highly reactive psychological response. Basically, your mind is just executing a program it learned a long time ago. And to stop it, well, we first have to unpack the hidden logic behind it.
Section 2, the brain's defense mechanism, otherwise known as the overprotective bodyguard. To understand this logic, we're going to take an objective, behind-the-scenes look at the mind. We kind of have to look at this system as an overprotective bodyguard. It's the system operating completely in the background, making rapid-fire decisions on your behalf without ever actually asking for your permission. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is that the culprit behind your sudden dread is actually trying to do you a massive favor. The brain's protective instinct is fundamentally the act of preparing for pain as a defense mechanism. Think about it. When things are going well, you have a lot further to fall. Your brain looks at a good situation and immediately thinks, uh-oh, if this goes away, it's going to hurt. So to soften the blow of a hypothetical future disappointment, it literally forces you to rehearse the pain right now. It strongly believes that if you just expect a disaster, well, it won't completely destroy you when it finally arrives. And this right here is the most critical paradigm shift of this entire explainer. The brain is trying to protect you. It is not your enemy. Its core motivation is entirely rooted in a desperate, primal attempt to keep you safe from emotional devastation. It's just running a risk assessment. Joy requires vulnerability, and vulnerability, well, that's risky. By anticipating the worst, your brain is actively trying to construct emotional armor so that you are never caught off guard by life's inevitable curveballs.
Section 3, the cost of protection, or the trap of preparation.
Now, a bodyguard that locks you in a windowless vault certainly keeps you safe from the outside world, for sure, but it also completely prevents you from actually living. When this psychological protection goes a bit too far, the very system designed to save you from pain ends up generating its own distinct kind of suffering. Let's move on and see how this builds across 3 distinct steps. It happens so fast, but breaking it down is incredibly revealing. Step 1, a good thing happens. That's the trigger. Step 2, your brain immediately jumps in to prepare for the pain of losing that good thing. It floods your system with anxiety, all those what-ifs, and endless disaster planning. Which inevitably leads to Step 3, you are now completely stuck in fear. The positive event is eclipsed, the joy is just gone. That rapid, flawed progression from a moment of victory straight into a state of emotional paralysis is complete.
Our source material actually sums up this paradox perfectly. Preparation that keeps you stuck in fear. So the crucial point here is that this mechanism is fundamentally counterproductive. In its frantic attempt to shield you from hypothetical future pain, your brain is actually forcing you to experience real, tangible fear in the present moment. The armor is so heavy you literally can't move. The shield has inadvertently become a cage.
You're suffering today over a disaster that hasn't even happened yet, all in the name of just being prepared.
Which brings us to our final thought today. I want to leave you with a question to really challenge how you view your own inner workings. Are you protecting yourself, or are you just stuck? The next time something wonderful happens and you feel that familiar rush of worst-case scenario dread creeping in, I want you to picture that overprotective bodyguard. Just recognize it, acknowledge that your brain is just trying to help, but consciously choose whether you actually need that armor in the moment. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the tools to finally start enjoying the good moments you've absolutely earned.